Hello, welcome, and thank you for stopping by. You know what? Why don't you let me know what your New Year's resolutions are down below? My resolutions are simple. This year, I want to become a better artist, and through this channel, I'm going to share that journey with you guys. I got a Huion tablet for my birthday, and as I enter the wide, scary world of my 30s, and I've experienced a lot of loss this past year. I don't want to waste any more time not doing the things I love, even if I'm not the best at them. Even if it goes nowhere in the scheme of things, I just want to have fun, practice, and share that. I'm hoping that if you're like me and you've set aside a hobby or something you love, due to life being in the way, that this inspires you to go ahead and pick it back up without being afraid that too much time has passed or that you're not good enough to just do what you enjoy. My second resolution and sort of a reward for maybe one day becoming an adequate artist is to create a webcomic. This is a dream I've had since I was a teenager, and I just always felt silly about pursuing it. During quarantine, I watched a lot of art channels, channels of animators, and I was really motivated to go out and pick up a pen and paper and start drawing. Drawing with a tablet is pretty new to me. As you can see, I'm definitely not the best. I'm freehanding and will need to become more adept with the online tools, and I'm adjusting to looking in a different direction than where the pen is hitting the surface. It's strange, but fun. I definitely have an interest in making a webcomic with a lot of psychological horror, kind of gritty and dark. I'd also really like to learn how to animate down the road. I just think that would be a lot of fun, but there's a lot more to learn with that. So I've also had Unity downloaded for a while, and I haven't gotten around to playing with it. A lot of my favorite horror games on Steam are created with Unity, so sometime I would like to really get to work on a video game of my own. But right now, I'm practicing so that I can draw some panels and share that ultimately with you guys, hopefully by the end of the year. You might recognize the people that I'm drawing in this. It's still from the movie Red Riding Hood. I've always just been a big fan of Amanda Seyfried, and this was one of my favorite movies for a long time. When it came out, I definitely shipped her with Henry, who is played by Max Irons. Let's talk more about this movie, okay? It had Gary Oldman in it and our favorite character from Twilight, Charlie. We are Team Charlie here every day, every night. Don't at me if you did not think Charlie was the best part of the movie series because it's an objective fact and I won't hear otherwise. Amanda Seyfried is cast as Red Riding Hood, set in a creepy mountain village that is terrorized by a werewolf. Everyone in the movie acts a bit bizarre and kind of off to make you wonder who it is that's the werewolf. The wolf takes a special interest in Amanda, and Gary Oldman comes to the village to save the day, which he, does not. In the middle of this, there's a love triangle between Amanda and her lumberjack sweetheart, and then Henry, who is Mr. Fancy Pants Jr. of the town. I suppose I just really preferred Henry because he never treated Amanda like she wasn't able to make up her own mind. He does try to marry her. I'm just kind of assuming that's what she would want, but it's probably because he's hot and he's rich and he's ready to chop some werewolf heads with his sword. And when she doesn't pick him, he's hurt, but he ultimately respects her decision. Meanwhile, Mr. Lumberjack boyfriend decides to go and grind up on some other women to try and force Amanda to break up with him and marry Mr. Fancy Pants because he thinks it'll be a more comfortable life for her, which I just found to be a bit patronizing. If she wanted a comfortable life, Henry is down on one knee, and plus she's Amanda Seyfried, so she can make that choice if she wants. If I was Red Riding Hood and Mr. Lumberjack did that crap to me, I would be like, fine, I'll go take Mr. Fancy Pants into the woods for cuddle time. Don't talk to me or my red cloak ever again. At least in this movie, though, he had good intentions. He's not a bad guy. He's just throwing a huge pity party because he can't give her a fancy life, which, you live in a tiny village in the middle of nowhere being stalked by a murderous werewolf. That's really the least of your problems, my dude. But back to the drawing at hand, all creeps aside. This is a still from when they sort of lock eyes in a room, and I wanted to draw it, I suppose, a bit creepy, kind of like the mood of the movie, a little off. They're looking at each other, but it's not direct. It's really not romantic, so it's more this kind of trepidation, especially for when you're watching it for the first time, since you believe Henry might be the werewolf. I used Krita, which is a pretty amazing free-to-use program. I used the still for reference, and I freehanded a little outline on top of them. After I had drawn them out, I used a gradient for the background and then painted them in. On top of that, I did change up kind of things like the glow and the colors and used halftone for the shading. As I said before, I'm really new to my tablet. I'm hoping to improve, but I really liked how it came out. If you have any comments, criticisms, please drop them below so that I can continue to improve. You know, it's all welcome. I hope that you like this video and subscribe to my channel and help me make a real go of this. So happy New Year, and I hope you have a great day on the earth wherever you are.